In today's show, Thabo Cephalosha helps children from his home and why Tom Brokaw visited Oklahoma.
Also, Toby Keith has lunch with local construction workers, and Made in Oklahoma food is celebrated. We have a packed show. Let's get to it.
Straight into it. Quite a night for one Thunder player and his wife. How it's helping children where Thabo Cephalosha is from.
A Night to Africa about 2 years ago now. The first event was in 2011. The goal with this fundraiser is to be able to raise money for children in South Africa. My husband, as you all know, played basketball for the Thunder, but he's from South Africa originally, so we decided to do this fundraiser here in Oklahoma to be able to bring awareness about the condition of the kid in South Africa.
The opportunity came when we started working with Imbeu. It's a French, Swiss-based non-profit that we work with. They had the experience because they worked with Roger Federer before that, doing kind of a after-school program also in a different part of South Africa. So they had the experience there in South Africa.
We are very excited about this event. We're trying to make it where it's a fun event for everybody that will attend. We have a fashion show. The most exciting part is we're having 5 South African designers from the New York Fashion Week that are coming to showcase some of their fashion. We have a wine tasting part where we have fabulous wine from all over the world, from South Africa, from Burgundy, everywhere. So if you like wine, that's a great event to attend. We also have silent auction item with a lot of Thunder jersey, shoes.
So last summer we went and so the program, it was up and running for a year at the time we went. So it was great to be there, and everything turned out great. You know, the fields where the kids go after the school and play is very, very great. Pretty impressive the way it changed from the first time we saw it. We have about 150 kids going every day and getting the proper training with some coaches. It's about sports, but it's mostly about learning life skills and also keeping them in a safe place, because the streets of Mamelodi in South Africa is really not safe. We working right now with 6 different schools from Mamelodi. So like I said, it's a lot of school, a lot of kids. And right now we have about 150. So we try to raise that, because we're working with 6 different schools, and maybe why not, expand it to be even bigger in the future.
Great job there by Kyle Roberts, manning the 1s and 2s, meaning the camera on that. And Lily Beth Brinkman hooking us up with that interview. Great of her off the features desk to help us out with that interview with Thabo and his lovely wife. Quite the event there.
I know. It's so neat. Obviously pretty fancy. Designers from New York.
Had some wines, had some fashion show going on there.
Very cool. Ooh. Good for them. All right, Oklahoma State's Business School brought in Tom Brokaw for their executive management briefing at the Civic Center in downtown Oklahoma City. Now, he came on a rainy day recently, and he spoke on a variety of subjects. Here's some of that interview.
Well, I was thinking on the way over here, I love the musical Oklahoma. You remember Gordon McRae in the film sings, "Oh, what a glorious morning." This is not what he had in mind for when it comes to weather. Corn will be as high as an elephant's eye sometime next summer. I come here a fair amount. I have a son-in-law who lives grew up in Claremore, big boomer sooner. I got an honorary degree from there, and of course, when I come to Oklahoma City, I remember so well the Murrah building, because I spent a lot of time here doing that, and it was a very trying ordeal, not just for the people of Oklahoma City, most of all for them, but for those of us who were here as well. Well, I have a lot of memories. First of all, to arrive the morning after, which is we all were in New York, and stayed there that day so we could get it on the air, and then came I guess early the next morning, maybe overnight, I don't remember. It was we chartered a plane to get here, and to see the building, the courthouse, the federal building, which is, was a symbol of the place of government in our lives, and to see that god-awful wound in the side of it and know the damage that had been done. And the people of Oklahoma City, I actually wrote about it, I think, in the paper, were astonishing, because they were working through their grief while they were continuing their rescue efforts and dealing with it. And we were treated with the utmost courtesy. I was telling Michael, who drove me over here today, that we set up shop at a printing shop not too far away from the building, and we ordered barbecue the first night, and every night after that, that barbecue place just arrived without us even calling. And then I came back, I think, a year later for the dedication of the memorial, or was it a year later or 2 years later when President Clinton came? It was sometime after that. And then I've spent time here since then, obviously. And it was a great trial for the country to have had some homegrown terrorist do what he did. And it was a wake-up call, frankly, about vigilance and having a civil debate about, the place of government in our lives. And I always try to balance my Oklahoma State versus OU. It's a little tricky.
And Brokaw also spoke about Oklahomans and the great people he's encountered here. What a neat thing. Obviously he spoke about some serious subjects with the Oklahoma City bombing, but then the rivalry between OU and OSU, I mean, how fun. He seems like a good guy.
So I'm going to segue here for just a second. Brokaw spoke to the media before his event at the Civic Center for about 10 minutes. And I carved down that video to about 6 minutes. We're only going to play, or we just played part of that video for you. But it was kind of awkward. Media would ask a question. He would give an answer in his deep, gravelly, famous broadcast voice, and then silence. Like 10 seconds of silence before somebody else asks a question.
It's got to be intimidating.
I guess it would be intimidating, but if you have an opportunity with Tom Brokaw, load up some questions.
I know. It's got to be intimidating just because he's such a force of, media. I mean, he you look at him and you think he knows what he's doing, and we're media, but we're local media, so it may be a little intimidating.
I think you're probably right. I met Bob Schieffer once at one of those deals in Pointer where he was talking to students, and everybody was just peppering him with questions and great personality. These guys, you're not going to faze them one bit.
I know it. Very cool. That's
speaking
awesome.
of a guy you can't faze, it's Toby Keith. Coming up next, how he recently thanked construction workers for their hard work on a project near and dear to his heart.
And how you can help support Made in Oklahoma producers during April. That's coming up.
Everyone gets excited on game day. With the Oklahoman Full Access, you can get your sports news any way you like. The Oklahoman Full Access includes print, smartphones, tablets, print replica, and our digital archives, starting as low as $12 a month. And it's free to current print subscribers. Log on to newsok.com/subscribe to get started today. The Oklahoman Full Access.
Hello, this is Mary. I can help you.
Hi, my grandma wants to know how to record my show.
Press the guide button on the remote.
Abuelita, toca el botón guide.
Now find your show on the screen and press record.
Ahora busca el programa en la
Pantalla.
Working hard for every smile. Another reason why Cox is your friend in the digital age.
Everyone has their morning routine. With the Oklahoman Full Access, you can get your morning news any way you like. The Oklahoman Full Access includes print, smartphones, tablets, print replica, and our digital archives, starting as low as $12 a month. And it's free to current print subscribers. Log on to theoklahoman.com/subscribe to get started today. The Oklahoman Full Access.
Well, we've interviewed Toby Keith several times about his restaurants, Alley's House, and the groundbreaking of the OK Kids Corral.
And now the corral is nearing completion. Toby Keith was on hand recently to thank the workers on the project.
The mission of OK Kids Corral is basically to provide cost-free housing to children coming to Oklahoma City to receive treatment for cancer. So we will have 16 rooms in the house, so 16 families can stay with us. Really, our mission is to provide comfort, to provide financial help to these families so that they're not traveling hours a day in a car, paying for gas, paying for food, paying for lodging.
I want to thank everybody involved. This has been a 10-year plan for us. My first guitar player lost his daughter about a decade ago, and they were at St. Jude's in Memphis, and when the family came back, the hotel for the kids, the housing project over there for the kids was a lot like this. Maybe not as cool as this, but this was our dream. Took us 10 years, and some fine Oklahomans supporting it. Lots of celebrities coming in, raising money, and a lot of people reaching in the old back pocket and making this happen. And 10 years later, you can see the dream coming true. It's a really wonderful to be able to give money and then drive by and say, hey, I helped build that, whereas most charities you give to, you just give the money with your heart and hope for the best. But you can see this is going to be a fantastic thing for these children of Oklahoma. Thanks for the hard work. It looks like we're going to be open before the end of the year, and all the people that supported my foundation for 10 years and ongoing will be proud to drive by this place. So congratulations on wonderful work. I appreciate your effort, and thanks to the Toby Keith Foundation, Juliet, and all the Armando and all the board members that make it happen. And is anybody else going to speak besides me? Am I just going to say eat? All right, let's eat, guys. Thank you.
So we are celebrating today because these workers are, putting their name on this building and really, really working so hard for us, and we're just thankful that we're on schedule.
We don't get to build for nonprofits all the time, and especially one with a cause as good as this. Toby talked a little bit about the needs of families and those and their children going through those tough times, and this is really going to give them, release financial stress on them and give them a welcome environment to come and have support and facilities, and they're going to work with those families to understand what they're going through, and it's invaluable.
The OK Kids Corral is on schedule for opening up this fall. It will have 12 overnight and 4 daytime rooms for patients and their families.
I hope to see many, many families in here, and us providing them comfort and hoping that the community gets behind us and supports this new facility.
Nice work by Greg Singleton and Kenzie Meek Beck on that video. Now, you may have noticed the red Solo cup makes an appearance throughout this video, which is, of course, one of his more famous songs and videos, right?
That's true.
But you saw it at the beginning when the lady had the red Solo cup, and then when the construction workers were in line, Greg does a nice job of the tower of red Solo cup as they're getting their food.
Good job, Greg. That's awesome.
Good
I love
placement.
it. I love it. Yeah, and it's just, wow, how cool is that? How many people would do that? I don't know. Maybe more people than what I would imagine who would say, I want to thank the construction workers on this, and I want to feed you guys and say thanks for doing this in a timely manner. I mean, how cool. That's very neat.
We mentioned Tom Brokaw has the deep, booming voice. So does Toby Keith.
Yeah, and he's tall.
He's a big dude.
He's very tall. I mean, every time I've interviewed him, I'm like, hi. All right, well, moving on. Food columnist for the Oklahoman, Cheryl Jones, has been doing a series about made in Oklahoma products and farmers. For April, Cheryl brought in a special guest, local cook nicknamed Sassy Mama. Hey, it's Angie with Newsok.
And Cheryl.
And Cheryl is our passion for food columnist for the Oklahoman. She has been doing a wonderful series called Oklahoma Table, where we're featuring made in Oklahoma products. We're doing something special this time. What are we doing?
Yes, we are. April is Made in Oklahoma month. So you're going to be seeing a lot of things on all media sources about made in Oklahoma products. And we have a special guest with us who's going to do the cooking today. And some of you may know her as the Sassy Mama. It's Karen Ross.
Very nice.
And she's going to be doing a new take on a classic.
Oh, very nice. Let's get to it.
Hey everyone, this is Karen Ross coming to you with the Made in Oklahoma Coalition. Today we are making an inspired dessert from Fields Pies. These pies have been a staple on tables since 1922. They came from Pauls Valley, but guess what? It's no longer going to be a pie. Mama's making it into a little bitty brownie. So watch this recipe. It is super simple. You're going to start with 1 cup of melted chocolate chips and butter, pretty much my favorite thing in the whole wide world. Put that in a big bowl, just like that melted. You're going to add in 1 cup of sugar and 2 eggs. Remember, when you're cracking your eggs, I'm an expert now, but try to be careful you don't get any funky pieces in there. And what you're going to do is just going to use your electric mixer like this. Blend that all together. This is something that is so simple, and it's a great way that if you're given, like during the holidays, Sometimes people will drop pies by and you're like, I cannot eat another piece of just plain old pie. Well, guess what? Take that German chocolate pie, especially a Fields German chocolate pie, and cook it into a cake. So what we've got here is we've got the chocolate and the sugar mixed together. And here is my secret. This is the Fields German chocolate pie. Guess what? You can also do this with a pecan pie. It's not sexy putting it in, I'm not gonna lie. Just go ahead, put in half of your pie pieces that you've crumbled up. It's kind of a shame. Yet when you taste this, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, who'd have thought? So mix that all together, and you are gonna have chunks. You can't avoid that, but that's what kind of gives the cake a little bit of a character. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add in a little bit of half and half. It's gonna be 1 cup. I put a little liquid in, and then I'm gonna put half of my flour, just like that. And then you're gonna have to give this a little rise because these little brownies are gonna rise up and be delicious. So I add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder, just like that. And we're gonna mix that all together. So here we go. This is a great way to get your kids in the kitchen. Have them using Made in Oklahoma products right here. And it's just a fun way to experiment. Taking something that's fabulous and making it more fabulous. Go ahead and add in the rest of your flour, which is 3 cups total. About a half a cup more. I'm kind of tossing and throwing here. And then I've forgotten the vanilla, but it's never too late. So go ahead and add in a teaspoon of vanilla just like that. Blend that all together, and it's gonna come together pretty quickly, and it's gonna be very thick. Don't fret, it's gonna be delicious. Just like that, it's coming together really nicely. Here we go. And it's done. I'm gonna add in just a smidge more milk. You want it to be really thick like a brownie is. You don't want to overbeat it because when you overbeat a brownie, guess what? You've beaten all the rise right out of it, and it also keeps it from being chewy and gooey. Did you see that? I wanted to stick my finger in there. Can't help wanting to be a kid. So what you're going to do, put your beaters over here. So look, the rest of our pie is sitting right over here. What you're going to do is you're going to put that in like that. Use your spatula, kind of mush it up, and these are kind of going to be like your chunk pieces that you put in a brownie whenever you cook in, and you put in some chocolate chips, or you might put the coconut in a type of brownie. See? This is delicious. So what you're going to do, move this right over here. I have a prepared pan right here, 9 by 13. Spray it really well. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Pour in this delicious cake. It's going to be very thick. Just like that. Spread it out, pop it in the oven, and allow it to cook for 45 to 50 minutes. It is going to puff up beautifully, be golden brown. It's going to pull away from the edges ever so slightly. Let it cool, cut it into wedges, and then serve it with a little bit of ice cream. And I promise you, you're going to be so proud of your Fields German chocolate brownies that were made right here in Oklahoma, thanks to our Made in Oklahoma Coalition. Hope you enjoy.
And the Made in Oklahoma Coalition employs over 27,000 people and generates $3.5 billion in sales. Not shabby at all.
Not shabby at all, wow.
Pretty cool, that's very nice. And something else that they also talked about was the fact that a lot of Made in Oklahoma products go to other states. So it's bringing in money to Oklahoma from other states. I mean, that's awesome.
And it's tasty too.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, we're not done with food yet. We caught up with the food dude, Dave Cathy, at a new restaurant in Stillwater.
With the Oklahoman Full Access, we deliver your news any way you'd like. The Oklahoman Full Access includes print, smartphones, tablets, print replica, digital archives, and the new Oklahoman.com. Plans start at only $12 a month. And all this is free to current print subscribers. Log on to oklahoman.com/subscribe to get started today. The Oklahoman Full Access.
I look up to you. all the things you do. I hope to be like you someday soon.
Working hard for every smile. Another reason why Cox is your friend in the digital age.
We're shooting more photos at each assignment, but we're putting those into separate galleries that can be added into the iPad and online editions so that the viewers can see a lot more photographs. We can tell a lot more of the story visually, give them more detailed shots, more overall shots, just a lot more variety that really enriches their experience.
You know, Dave, it's easy to get stuck in a rut and eat the same things or eat at the same places.
I'll have the usual. We know you will, Dave.
Yeah.
You were just here last week, and that's what you got then.
Yeah.
Well, now Dave Cathy, the Oklahoman's food dude, found a unique place to eat in Stillwater.
Hi, I'm Dave Cathy, the food dude, and summer's getting close, so I thought I would get outside of town and show you some ideas of some places that you might be able to visit this summer. We're going to start out in Stillwater at Main Street Noodle, the state's only ramen noodle bar.
My idea of starting a business is the key is not passion, but the key strategy is uniqueness. It has to be unique, and I believe a lot of restaurant owners or business owners, they'll be like, duh, that is pretty obvious. But, you know, we're unique in a sense, not like we are inventing noodles. We don't invent noodles, but basically create options. This particular restaurant specializes in Japanese, Vietnamese, and Korean ramen. And you might say, what's the difference? Do you like what you say? It's come off of a temple and it's the same idea. Well, other than the fact that there's what would they call the egg noodle, rice noodle, they're basically, you know, the same idea. But the difference is the broth base. The day start off as we come in really early in the morning, like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and we start the pot. And get this, we start the pot that day, not to sell the broth that day. It's for the next day. So whatever you're looking at right now is yesterday's effort. But then a lot of people are like, whoa, so this is leftover? It's not leftover. In fact, it's continuously cooking. Here we do have a Japanese chef. Yeah. So, and the thing why I want to stress that is, it's not because we want to show off, ooh, big deal, you have a Japanese chef. No, because Japanese, not only Japanese, like me, Chinese, any Asian countries, if we were to cook our own cuisine, we'll be really upset if it's really not what. For example, if you're from Italy, right? And you go to an Italian restaurant, you eat it, it's like, this is not Italy. Yeah, right. And then you look in the kitchen, yeah, it's not Italian. So that's why we think that it's important that if we were to, let's say, if I were to open an Italian restaurant tomorrow, I'll not send my Japanese chef there. It has to be Italian. So that's the idea, and I'm very proud of it. So all these things are unique factors that I think will make it pretty successful.
Dave Cathy always highlights some great places to eat in the metro area. I often like to tag along with him on these shoots just because I get to eat at great places around the metro area. And you can catch up with his blog, blog.newsok.com/fooddude. You can follow him on Twitter and Facebook and probably run into him at a local restaurant sometime.
I know. He does a great job. Oh my gosh, what a lucky guy. What a great job.
Not a bad job at all.
All right, well, coming up, how college courses are changing for students.
Social media gives readers a voice that they can interact with us in a way that I don't think they've ever been able to. And it allows us to, include their thoughts and their questions and everything in our content.
Whereas we used to just publish and just tell everybody what the news and entertainment and information was. The rest of the world wants to engage. They want to talk back. They want us to talk back to them. They want insight, they want opinion. And a lot of that is new culturally for a newspaper.
I look up to you for all the things you do. I hope to be like you someday soon. 'Cause I love
Working hard for every smile. Another reason why Cox is your friend in the digital age.
In 2012, we had the largest concentration of Oklahoma musicians to go to South by Southwest ever. Dave Morrison and I, we talked about it as like, let's just do this guerrilla style, okay? We'll shoot 1 or 2 performances by an act, and then we'll get an interview, and we'll get it up as quickly as possible. So that's what we were doing. We ended up with 21 different videos, and those also included some stand-up.
There are a variety of college courses. Some are more hands-on and interactive than others.
Most of us are used to traditional learning in the classroom, but more and more classes can be found online. Now there's an even newer way to take college courses by combining the two.
Which one are we going to pick? Chili's. Chili's. All right, so yay, let's cancel class and I'll go to Chili's, right?
I teach MCOM 113, Fundamentals of Speech, but I teach it as a hybrid course. So I do the instruction, exams, assignments online, and then the students meet with me once a month for them to give their public speeches. In a traditional online class, they would do all of their work online, including their speeches or any assignments. And then a traditional face-to-face class, they would come and meet with us for this class 3 hours a week, and they would do everything inside of the class, listen to the lecture, take their exams with us. And in the hybrid class, we meld those two things together.
I like the fact that a hybrid class, you're able to go once a month to see the teacher, meet her in person, everything. But at the same time, you're not always in there, and you don't get bored, I don't think. So I think online is, I like online a little bit better than that. Than actual class time every week, every day, it's kind of tedious.
Hybrid class, I think, provides students the flexibility, students that work and need to be able to do their work at night for school or on the weekend. And then the advantage, I think, over a traditional online class is that we do have a connection. It increases the learning community amongst the students and the professor and allows them to put a face to the class, and we get to know each other in a way that sometimes is missed in a traditional online class. The change we've seen is the student who takes a hybrid course. Originally, when I began teaching this class, it was the returning students, the non-traditional students that didn't live on campus, and now we see a big increase in traditional freshman students taking hybrid courses and appreciating the options that they have.
What a great idea for students who are working. I actually took one online course when I was in college, and back then, that was like huge, an online course. I don't want to say when I graduated from college, but it's been a decade.
2 years ago when you got out of college,
Yeah. And so now, combining the two, having the traditional that you can meet face to face, a little bit of that, and then a little bit of the online, it's a great idea.
It's a great idea, using the technology and
there you go.
all the stuff kids are used to. High schools, college, wherever. All right, that's all the time we have for this edition of Newsok TV.
And you can watch all of these videos and much more online at newsok.com. See ya.